Hello, welcome to Late Night Creations. I'm Kendra and I'm so glad you're here. Today I have a video where I did 4 projects, each one of them $3 or under. I think that you're really gonna like them, so please give it a thumbs up for me and let's get started on the video. Okay, let's start out with this cutting board that I picked up at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to give it a good heavy coat of this chalk paint in the color Fawn. I picked it up at Walmart on clearance, and it's not really my favorite color, but you're going to see that I'm going to transform it with some white wax by DIY. And I love that it's a little different than doing a dry brush effect because it really kind of changes the color of the paint. Here we go. You're going to see when I wipe this wax off how it just sort of mutes that color on here, and then it leaves that wax in the crevices. There's not very many crevices on this little cutting board, but I do like how it just sort of settled in those little cracks there. And when I flip it over to do the back, I didn't need to show you all of it, but I did want to show you that, and I didn't do very much of it, but you can kind of make it a little more stripy if you want to, you know, make it a little bit different technique. If you want to have a different look about how you put it on there, you can, you know what I'm trying to say. You can give it a different look depending on how you apply it. Now I'm going to give it a coat of Mod Podge, and I tried to put a decal on here that I cut out on my Cricut. I wanted it to say, "Give us this day our daily bread," but when I put the decal on there, it peeled the paint off, and so I had to repaint it and start over. But I didn't waste time showing all that, but I'm telling you that I did that. So I found this little round wooden piece that I had left over in some of my stash, and I'm just going to give it a thin coat of white chalk paint from Rust-Oleum. Then I'm just going to sand the edges a little bit. Now I had these rub-on alphabet that I found when I was cleaning out something. I've had them for probably 15 years, but I really didn't like the way they looked. They were just kind of crumbly. So I'm going to paint the back. I'm just going to start over. I'm just kind of a perfectionist, and I just didn't like the way they looked, so we just start over. So I'm just making this line so that I'm going to have my letters straight because I'm going to hand draw them on here. Or hand write them, hand draw them. And they don't have to be perfect because it's hand done. You will see that I smear that with my finger because I wasn't being too careful, but I already had planned on kind of making them look like typewriter letters anyway, so it was okay. If not, I would have just painted over it a little bit with white and been okay. Now I'm going to dry that by shaking it a little bit. I'm going to erase my line that I made, and look how cute. Now I'm going to make some little green. No, I'm not. I'm going to wait till that dries. Okay, so I have this buffalo check gingham ribbon that I've had forever. I bought this big huge roll on clearance after Christmas, I believe from Michael's, and I mean I probably got it for just a few dollars after the season, and I'm telling you, I've used it in so many projects, and it is just the roll of ribbon that just keeps giving, and so I love it. It's wired, and it's not too thick and it's not too thin. It's just right. Kind of sound like Goldilocks, don't I? Okay, so then I decided I was going to use this green paint pen to make some little vines, and I decided it was too bright. It was just, I didn't like it. So I'm going back to my own little hand-done stuff here. Okay, so I'm just going to take this little paintbrush, take a couple of colors of green acrylic paint, and just paint that vine. And you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. So if you have never tried to just paint on something before, guess what? Just like my cutting board, if it doesn't turn out just the way you want it, you can sand it down and paint over it again until you get it like you want it. And sometimes it takes time, but I've had, you know, 40 plus years of practice at this, so Mine are still not perfect, but I like it a little, the trendy word is organic, a little natural, a little just hand painted. I love hand painted things that don't look perfect like they came out of a machine. So I just added a little bit of the 2 different colors of green so that it didn't look so boring and plain. And I think it turned out cute. It kind of looks a little bit like a baseball to me, but it's cute. I like it. And so I'm just going to glue it right on top of that ribbon, right on top of that ugly little home that was on there. And I think it's cute. Now I'm going to wrap a little bit of, actually quite a bit of this twine. And because the neck of it, you see how it is curved, it was kind of hard to get it to wrap around there to get started. So I used quite a bit of hot glue right there and just tried to get it to stay. And then I just wrapped and wrapped and pushed it down and wrapped and then just kept wrapping. And then I wrapped a little bit and then I cut it and then I glued some and then I wrapped a little bit. You're going to see I kind of struggled with how to get that to stay right around that neck, but I ended up just wrapping and wrapping, and then I cut it and wrapped some more. So if you want to put this twine on the top, you just have to use a lot of hot glue on the back to give it this. I think this gives it a nice little farmhouse look. I don't have the farmhouse, much farmhouse decor in my house. I'm very eclectic. I'm a little more modern, shabby, maybe farmhouse, shabby, chic, cottagey, I don't know, eclectic. I don't really have a style, but I do love creating farmhouse. It's a style that's easy and fun to create. So I tend to give away my projects that I make, or I just have a big stash of them. I really would like to find a booth somewhere nearby that I could just sell my things in. I'm gonna look into that. So then I take some of this ribbon. This is one of my favorite ways to just make a simple little straight bow. Just cut some ribbon, and I made these I think the same, they look like they're the same length, I can't remember. Then I'm just going to wrap some twine around the middle. I wrapped it around 3 times, maybe 2 times, and just tied it down in the center and tied it in a knot, and then cut the excess little tails off of there. Well, I think I'm going to cut the other side off. Oh, I'm going to wrap it several times. I thought I wrapped it several times, but I didn't realize I did that after I tied the knot. I'm not sure why I did that, but sometimes I have these ideas and then it's like an afterthought. So maybe that was an afterthought to do that. But I like that twine, that little thick twine in the middle. Now I'm going to take this fray check that I get, you can get it at any store, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, and it just keeps the edges of the ribbon from fraying, because this one does fray pretty badly. So here's the finished product. I think that it is just lovely, and I hope that you like it too. Okay, our next DIY is a little personal one, and I picked this up at Dollar Tree. I love it because it has, you can hang it, you can stand it, but I did not like the black, so I mixed my own little dark blue with just some different chalk paints and acrylic paints, and I just mixed them all up till I got the color I wanted and painted that little sign. And then I took the little tags that were paper, but I really kind of thought they were plastic because they had a plastic coating on them. But I took this gray chalk paint and I painted them, and they were really more like paper, so they kind of got wet. But anyway, they work out. And I tried to do it with some paper too, but that didn't work either. So I just painted them. It worked. And then I took this elephant chalk paint and a sponge and kind of went around the edges, and then dry brushed in the middle. And then I'm going to put a coat of Mod Podge on because I'm going to write on it. I also Mod Podged the blue sign that I painted. I don't think I showed you that step, but I gave everything a coat of Mod Podge because I'm going to write on it instead of using my Cricut, because everybody doesn't have a Cricut, And so I'm going to show you what you can do. So you can see over to the right, I've been practicing before I started, and I should have drawn a line like I did on my last project, but nope, I thought I had it all figured out and I could do it, but I did not make it straight. It's headed uphill, and yeah, that kind of drives me crazy, but again, it's handmade, it's not perfect, and it's okay. I kind of do something to offset that in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to write all my grandchildren's names on these tags. I have 8 and there's only 4 hooks, so I'm going to put 2 children on each tag, and this is my method of drying their to dry that off. And my grandkids call me Gigi. I guess you figured that out. And here I go with the florals. In case you're new to my channel, I struggle with the florals. I'm getting better. I'm getting more confident. I mean, it ends up good in the end, but I don't think I do a good job. Anyway, so I had these pretty little flowers from Dollar Tree and some of this greenery in my stash, and I just, cut it up into little pieces and put it under there, because then it takes away from the fact that my letters are not straight. My words are not straight. So, just fix your boo-boos. So here it is finished, and I love it. It's in my bedroom on my dresser, and I just am in love with it. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This little mirrored mason jar. It's metal. It's not mirrored, but it's mirrored because you're going to see my face in it as I'm doing this. So I had this idea that I would take this elephant chalk paint, this chalk paint in the color of elephant, and I would dab it around the edges, and it would make it look a little worn and old. And I would do it around the top, and then I would take some truffle, and then I actually used some white at the end and make it kind of look old. I should have used white vinyl instead of black. The black didn't show up very good. I never could get a really good picture because of the mirror effect that it has. But anyway, I did the Be Still and Know scripture out of Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God, because we just have to be still and know that He's God and He's in control and He's got our back. We don't have to worry. Even though it's our human nature to worry, and He understands that, we just have to be still and know. And it's just a good reminder to have these things in our house, so when we see them, we just are reminded what it says in His Word, and that we have that reassurance. So then I did the little green vines that I love. I do love that look. And then here's my favorite ribbon from Dollar Tree. I love this little soft lace because this is my shabby chic, country shabby chic. That's my style. Sorry, I just went brain dead for a minute. And so that's why I love this ribbon, because it's my style. And then I'll just put the little hanger back on, and it's done. This was super quick, super easy, and I think it's really cute. Okay, last DIY for you on this video. I finally found the cathedral window signs from Dollar Tree. I've looked and looked and looked, and I finally found one. I found 3. So I'm going to make this adorable little wall hanging for you. So I also found these little glass, I don't know what they are, little glass jars with lids on them. That's what we're going to call them. So I'm going to just take some white chalk paint and dry brush this and just give it this cute little look. I don't know what you want to call that look. I don't really think it's distressed, but I think it's just pretty. Because I like things whitewashed and dry brushed, and that's just my style too. So this little window is definitely my style. I like that. I like this style. So I'm just wrapping some twine around the tops of these jars, and I'm trying to get all that fuzz off the twine by putting a little flame to it. Do that at your own risk. Now I did put a long string of twine around the top of that, and I'm gluing it and tying it. to the window. And I did all 3 of them. You can see that. I don't have to tell you that. Now, here we go with the florals again. So I have this lavender from Dollar Tree. So I'm cutting it down, trying to make them fit in there. It needs to just be something cute and simple, not a whole lot, because I don't want to take away from it, but I could not make those leaves look right in there. I was like, they're too short, something. So I had this other bunch that I had gotten over at Walmart, and I really liked that lavender one from Dollar Tree. I liked how it was kind of frosted. It kind of matched that whitewash dry brush look I had. And these were just kind of was running into the same problem. The greenery was short and stubby. Then I saw these long, grassy looking pieces, and yes, that was the look I was going for. So I cut them off just enough to make them the right length. And then I kind of toyed with, would I just put greenery in the middle one and just greenery in the outside ones? Some little ferns. Nope, they didn't fit in there right. Do I just put lavender in the outside ones? I played around with, different ideas, and no, I needed the greenery in. I thought I needed the greenery in all of them. So that's what I did. I put greenery in all of them, and I think that it turned out so cute. And then I did my simple little flat bow with some Dollar Tree burlap that has the lace on it, and then I just did a simple 2-loop bow out of some thick twine and glued it all together, glued it to the top. Super easy, super simple, super cute. I love this. Well, that is all for today, guys. I hope that you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.